Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffe Kennedy, author of fantasy romance and romantic fantasy. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. Delicious. Have to do the happy chair dance for the deliciousness of my latte today. I make it the same way every day. How could it possibly be different? And yet, it is. Today is Monday, August 9th. Welcome to a new week, second week of August. I'm doing silver today. I have my silver Clarissa Explains It All uh, barrette my hair. And today's earrings, we're down to the second to last. These are just little silver earrings. Let them catch the sunlight. Flash, flash. They're just basically two dangly, sort of diamond shaped, folded in half like little kites, two pieces. And they are fairly simple. I think I bought them at like a department store in St. Louis when I was in college. And yeah, I just like them. They're simple, but I like anything that catches the light, right? So I'm feeling like I have my gold metallic gold stripy coffee cup today. I feel like I need a silver one, right? But we don't worry about mixing silver and gold anymore. I remember there was a time when my mother was like, that was the fashion rule that you could not mix silver and gold. Times change. So, oh, I see I have the hose in the background because I was doing some fertilizing. All right, we're going to try pause again. I'm going to fix that. The pause actually worked this time. Um, but I got some new plants this weekend. The keen-eyed among you will note those. So I did do a little bit of watering to settle them in. There, move the pillow a bit so you can see. Yeah, I planted a couple of new Gora, nicely drought tolerant flowering plants. It was very fun because yesterday my friends, Miga Mori and Charlie Whittock, I don't think he cares if I say, because he comments on my Instagram, so you'd see his last name. They came over and we had wine in the Grape Arbor. And I gave them those chairs so that they could enjoy the pretty view, and they just loved it. Yeah, so it's always nice when somebody else enjoys your special spot as well. Um, and I gave him some of my copious columbine. So yeah, it was not as productive. There's a mosquito dancing around here. You are not going to have a piece of me. That's how you talk to mosquitoes. I don't know if you guys knew that. I guess because they're blood suckers, you must speak to them like tiny little vampires. Um, so forgive me, I'm watching for it to land so I could swat it. Yeah, that's how you get them. Yeah, it goes hastening away. Okay, smart mosquito. I had a really nice weekend. Trying to relax more, trying to have more downtime. So I did another unplugged day on Saturday, and I assembled my birthday present from my mom. Yes, it's early. When I showed it to Megan, she was like, "Wait, when's your birthday?" I'm like, "Not till the 22nd." You're cool. Um, but my mom got me a fire table. Woo! So I got that assembled. I got it assembled on Saturday afternoon. It was a fair amount of work, mostly bending over. What is it about, like when you start to get older, that like bending over, and having your head down and screwing in little bolts and stuff? It's so hard. It's like, I don't know. My belly doesn't want to bend anymore. More yoga. I need to do more yoga. Yeah. Uh, but I got that assembled and it's super cool. It took until Sunday morning. That was when I finally got it hooked up. Did all of the leak tests and everything. But I got to show it to Megan and Charlie. We did not sit by the fire table because it was, alas, too hot. We went for the cool and shady grape arbor instead. But I am looking forward to having drinks on cool evenings by the fire table. It puts out a lot of heat, you guys. It's really cool. So, super excited about that. Thank you, Mom. So, I did a lot of stuff like that on Saturday. I hung out, I read, did some reading, did the laundry, uh, finally cleaned. So, this is a big thing. This is how exciting life can be. But I'd had this on my list for a long time, or at least since I noticed, because we're coming up on the 12th anniversary that we've been in this house, and 10 days from now, yeah, 10 days from now, and I was looking up at the ceiling and the air conditioning intake vent. We have this sort of air conditioning system that was added on after the house was built. Not every house out here has air conditioning. But I looked up and it was like totally cobwebbed and dusty. It was disgusting. And I thought, shit, I need to clean this. But it's like these things, I guess I still haven't quite adapted to life where you live in a house. I mean, I should be, right? That, but like when you're younger, when you first having your own place that you're responsible for cleaning, like you're in college and you're in grad school, and and then like you're a young professional and you move. At least I did. I moved, like every year or every few years at at the longest. And so you would end up like completely cleaning the place in between, right? I feel like there's not a lot that prepares you in life for the kind of dirt that accumulates and when you're in a place long term. And yes, now I have the people cleaning my house, which is wonderful and making great inroads. But then I notice things like this air intake vent. So it kept sliding down my list, finally sliding, and it ended up being so easy. I just had to get the step ladder out and get up there and unscrew it from the ceiling and took it outside and rinsed it off several times. And then I actually had to go through with a rag and like do each little square. It's just like a big screen. I don't know, 1 inch squares, maybe half-inch squares. But it looks. I was also like totally braced because here I am underneath it, right, unscrewing the thing, and I'm totally braced for something horrible to fall on my head. But it was just an empty duct, so that was nice. They don't really show that in the movies, like when the Intrepid, maybe that's supposed to be not a big deal, but, like when the Intrepid heroes, she gets up there and climbs into the air duct because she's the only one small enough. They don't like show dead rodents. And there are, I don't know, whatever, maybe they do sometimes. I guess you're not supposed to worry about those things. But when you're just cleaning your house or doing household upkeep, you just don't want something like a dead rodent to fall on your head. So I was very happy that that did not happen. And then I got it back up there again. And I mean, like the whole thing was like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes start to finish. It's funny how these things that don't really take that much time or effort just keep sliding down your list because it feels like, oh, God, I've got to deal with this. I'm sure there's a metaphor in there somewhere. Um, so, what else did I do on Saturday? I did a lot of things like that. Um, and getting that table assembled took some time. So then on Sunday, David and I went out to breakfast and we stopped at the nursery on the way back and I got a few plants. I also got fertilizer. I'm not a really assiduous gardener. I don't do a lot of fertilizing, but we were sitting at the Pantry Rio, which is a great place to have breakfast in Santa Fe, wonderful patio, and they have morning glories all along their fence, and their morning glories were in profuse bloom. And so I was like, why are their morning glories more profusely blooming than mine? I get like one or two, and they said like 50. And so I was looking it up and on my phone and seeing that it's fertilizer. Although the kind of fertilizer it recommended I get, they didn't have. So I got another kind, and I've been sprinkling that on the garden and adding water. We're supposed to get rain starting up again this week, but we've had several dry days. Quite warm and also quite smoky, unfortunately. So we're looking forward to some rain to clear it out, although it's better this morning, getting some blue skies again. blue skies smiling on me. Um, yeah. So, and then, I got those things planted and I went to the store to get wine, and Megan and Charlie came over, and they ended up coming early because they got um, Sunday afternoon. They couldn't find anywhere out my way to have a beer or have lunch like they had planned to. So they came here, and then we went out to Harry's Roadhouse afterwards. It was a very fun day, but ended up not getting as many things done. Those of you who pay attention to such things will notice that I did not end up posting to the SFF7 blog post. I was going to do my chores and get ready for them first, and then do that. And then I ended up drinking with them. And once I start drinking, it's all over. I just lose any motivation. That's all. Certainly to do something like write a blog post. So I ended up not writing one yesterday, even though I had it all mentally composed. Could have been. It wasn't. Birds are singing this morning. Isn't that nice? We're noticing they're not quite as songy this morning. I think that they're starting to turn their thoughts to thoughts of fall migration. Friday was not a very wordful day again. I'm starting to look at the fact that, I don't know, I think I've spent a lot of years, as you guys know, or maybe you don't if you're fairly new to the podcast. Long term listeners or readers even know that I've spent a lot of years tracking my productivity. And it's something I really do recommend for all writers, with regardless of what your process is. If you aim for writing scenes or spending a certain amount of time writing or what have you, I think it's really useful to track how much time you spend and how many words per hour you produce. I know some people don't want to do this because then it feels like it puts pressure on them to produce a certain amount, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be pressure, you guys. Just track it. See if you can learn to treat it, like the knife throwing, where sticking the knife in the target is equally satisfying as an option as not sticking the knife in the target, because you've learned something either way. All you're doing is tracking yourself, learning from yourself. All data is good data. All knowledge is worth having, right? So that sort of sent me off on a mental tangent, but I won't go there. All data is good data. So I have been tracking my productivity in various ways. I've been tracking it for a longer than this, but I have pretty detailed data since 2012, so almost 10 years now. And that's how I determined that my reliably productive output is 3,000 words a day. If I go over 3,000 words a day, I have a real crash rebound effect where I write a whole lot less. And so I studied this over many years, and finding that like where that sweet spot was. The thing that I did not account for with the pandemic year was that I didn't travel anywhere. And same with this year, that I've been doing very little traveling. There's been some, but mostly I've been around every week. And so I figured my schedule that way, with a fairly intense release schedule where I would be writing 5 days a week. I hold up four fingers. It's turning into four. 5 days a week, 3,000 words a day. Um, so I should be doing like 15,000 words a week. And I knew in previous years that it was not working out to 15,000 words a week. And I put this down to sometimes I'm revising, right? So, I don't get the word count output when I'm revising. But also, I have realized, and I had to kind of go back through my data and look at it. And fortunately, I enjoy that as a scientist. I went back and looked at my data and I realized that one reason why I didn't get 15,000 words a week, 52 weeks a year, was because I would be traveling. I would have numerous conferences where I would be gone for a week or so. And so I had kind of known this, that if I look at it as an annual average, that my weekly output is closer to 10,000 to 12,000 words a week if I average it over the course of the year. That makes sense. So even though now I do still have some revising time, I haven't been traveling to conferences. And I think that what I'm seeing is a little bit of rebound that's settling me out at, like, the last couple of weeks. I've gotten 3,000 words a day for the first 3 days of the week, and then very little the next 2 days. And it's almost like it's settling out at, um, in the absence of other time off, that maybe 10,000 words a week is my creative output limit. And I just sort of come up dry after that. Um, and I know that that's still good. Whenever I talk about this with my friends, I said something to Grace about it. That she and I were mulling on Friday afternoon because I had run out of words, and she was working on something, and we were messaging back and forth and sending each other funny things. Sassy Outwater commented how much she'd like to be out fly on the wall for our conversations. And I feel like it's probably good that you guys aren't. I don't think we're nearly as interesting as you guys hope. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, Maybe because you guys say you're interested in the things I babble on about here, and sometimes I wonder. But I was musing about that to her and telling her about some of my conclusions on 10,000 words a week. And she said, that she, that I write so much faster than she does, that she would be, that would be like a banner week for her. And I'm like, I know, it's like we have to constantly caveat that, that it's all own your process. It's all own your process. Find out what your process is and own it. And we all just write at different rates. And the her writing speed is different than mine. And it's not that one is better than the other. We're just different, and you have to learn to work with that. And I think I'm maybe going to have to learn to work with that. I can't quite do so many words a day. So now what I'm going to have to look at is, do I try spreading that out over the 5 days a week, or do I do like 3,000 word days and then save the other days for something? I don't know. Um, I'm also going to start traveling more again. I am going to go to the NINC conference in September. That's really the major plan. I am going to be gone at the end of this week. We're going to take the grandchildren to Waterworld, so that'll be fun. Um, and I'm still on target to finish Dragon's Daughter. I won't be if I don't pick up speed somewhat, but we'll cross that bridge, right? I did have going to the conference figured in, as I've stopped trying to write when I'm at conferences. So I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. So I think that's all I have to say today. Uh, yeah, wish me luck today. Now let's see if the book responds. I will remind you all that First Cup of Coffee is part of the Frolic Media Podcast Network, and you will find more podcasts that you love at frolic.media/podcasts. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.